At last. Welcome, Neo.
It's an honor to meet you.
No, the honor is mine. Please come. Sit. I imagine that right now you're feeling a little bit like Alice, Tumbling down the rabbit hole.
You could say that.
You're here because you know something. What you know, you can't explain, but you feel it. You have felt it your whole life, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Aftershock.
Do you want to know what it is? Aftershock is everywhere. It is all around us. It is the world that covers your eyes, blinding you from the truth. Unfortunately, you cannot be told what Aftershock is. You have to see it for yourself. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill and you stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me.
Coming up on this special edition of Aftershock,
Issa covers the opening of a new building.
Nicole highlights a historic moment for Cypress Bay,
Kimberly covers a family walk event.
and much, much more.
Season 15 of Aftershock has been one for the books.
Here are some of our best moments.
What's up, Cypress Bay? I'm Nicole Borman.
And I'm Alex Land, and Aftershock starts now. A serious injustice regarding human trafficking has been happening in our country for years.
Here's Michael to cover a local organization who's trying to combat this issue.
The trench coats that they had to wear, but they continue to walk.
Dozens of Florida citizens have gathered before Lauderhill City Hall in protest.
That we could stand together and raise an awareness and raise our voice collectively.
In protest of what is nothing short of an injustice.
We're saying that we want all people to be recognized as a missing person.
People of color make up only 13% of the population, yet make up 35% of all missing person reports. Unfortunately, a lot of the time, missing people of color are just labeled as runaways, which means they don't get an Amber Alert, they don't get a lot of media attention, and they definitely don't get as much law enforcement engagement as they should.
People think equity and equality is the same thing, and it's not. And so there are so many times where white women get so much media attention, response, and a call to action when they are missing. And Black, brown, and indigenous people, humans, they don't get that same respect.
Which is why everyone here at this Sound the Alarm event in Broward County are ready to make their call to action.
We're sounding the alarm. We're sounding the alarm for change.
We're doing the building of change. We are the change makers right now. And so I'm very grateful even for like every entity of what this event was about.
Giving a platform not only to survivors, but to anyone affected by this crime is what Jamaro Johnson hoped to do while organizing the event.
The purpose and the goal is to provoke conversation and raise awareness about the lack of media attention, respect, response, and call to action that Black, brown, and indigenous humans get when they go missing.
Events like this make a difference because it brings awareness, and a lot of times that is the most difficult thing is bringing awareness to very important topics that make that safety net for all of our children as we look at our communities going forward.
We know how to solve the issue, we just need our voices to be heard.
She, along with all the speakers, hope to spread awareness and help those struggling with these issues.
Until we really address what people call modern day slavery, like why did these people not matter based on their race? It's just so many things that intertwines with trafficking that we are change makers, but we're gonna have to go and get the policies and put it on paper to support our movements and what we're really doing.
Michael Orlando.
Not just interconnected, but exactly the same crisis.
CB TV.
In 2004, a woman sold a 10-year-old grilled cheese sandwich for $28,000 on eBay. Why so much money, you may ask? According to her, it bore the image of Jesus Christ. People have also found faces on Mars, mountainsides, flowers, clouds, the moon, which interestingly is all due to a mind-blowing phenomenon called pareidolia. Meaning beyond the image in Greek, this tendency to see meaningful images in random visual patterns was actually considered a symptom of psychosis back in the early 20th century. Regardless, it's now considered completely natural, and here's why. Our brains are constantly receiving tremendous amounts of stimuli at any given time. So, it tries to find patterns within that information in order to help make sense of it, causing us to see things that are not there. This particular face-identifying response, however, is caused by the fusiform face area, an area of the brain responsible for facial recognition. This is where it gets really fascinating, though. According to a study conducted in 2013, people with stronger religious beliefs are actually more likely to experience pareidolia since they're more prone to seeing what is not there. This is why many of the most famous examples of pareidolia involve seeing the face of a religious figure. Another study, which was conducted in 2018, examined the effects of pareidolia on advertising and how using face-like images can actually influence a consumer's response to that product. The investigation revealed that when examining products containing faces or pareidolian images, the customers are actually more likely to be emotionally attached to those products, especially if these faces have positive expression. All in all, it seems like our brains really enjoy making order out of disorder, constantly looking for meaning in the ordinary. This tendency, though odd, is simply a part of the human condition. I'm Isabella Chiappini, CB TV.
Trains are some of the oldest forms of transportation.
However, Tyler looked into how timeless they truly are.
The modern transportation industry remains dominated by our four-wheeled friend, the car. At Dania Beach Station, that's not the case. Here, the mighty locomotive goes the extra mile to take people where they need to be. But how exactly do trains function? If you were to ask an average passenger,
I don't know much about trains. I know they get you to point A to point B. I know that it takes you where you want to go. It's fast.
Very few would have an answer. To find out, we have to track down the foundations of locomotive technology. Most trains you'll see are powered by diesel. Diesel enters the engines and produces compressed air when burnt. This air pushes the pistons in the engines, which produce electricity, and thus power the wheels. As the engine chugs along, something needs to put the motion in locomotion. That's where the wheels roll in. Unlike these tires, train wheels are cone in shape. This allows them to be directed to the center of the tracks and tilt whenever the train needs to make a turn. Under the wheels lies the rails, which many people know guide the train around. But what most don't know is why rocks populate the tracks. Gravel can be found on the rails for multiple reasons. They distribute heat, keep the rails steady, keep plants from growing, and drain rainwater. Those rocks are the final touch that make a functioning train system. Trains are wonderful modes of transportation, but not looking at the science behind it would be undermining what makes the wheels really turn. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a technological marvel to catch. Reporting for Student Television Network, Tyler Buxtell.
I know we've only known each other for about a month, but you bring a joy to me that others just can't match. So, I guess what I'm here to ask is, will you be my Valentine?
Ew.
While his intentions were pure and his confession was brief, young Niall found himself facing the 5 stages of grief. "You're kidding, right?" cried poor Niall, as he was forced to face stage 1, denial. Soon Niall, heart heavy like an anchor, used violence to satisfy stage 2, anger.
I did nothing wrong. Anyone will get rejected.
Stage 3, bargaining, is what Niall just attempted. No amount of emotional suppression could prevent Niall from stage 4, depression. While the outcome wasn't his preference, young Niall has come to terms with stage 5, acceptance.
And for those of you interested, I am free February 14th.
Nicole, we both know that football can carry some disappointing stereotypes.
Yeah, typically it's seen as a male sport.
Here's Cypress Bay's first female to defy these odds.
Hi, my name is Maddie Brass. I'm 18 years old, and I am the first girl on the Cypress Bay boys varsity football team. I've started playing flag football since 6th grade, and tackle football, this is my first year playing. So Coach Casulo is our head coach, and last year he came to one of my flag football games, and I was the punter. That was a really good kick. And he recruited me through that, and he's like, "We don't have a kicker this year. Would you want to kick?" So I said, "I mean, sure." Being a girl on the varsity team, I was intimidated at first. I mean, who wouldn't be? Honestly, walking into summer practice with all the guys looking at you, not the best. And I was like, okay, wait, should I turn around right now? This may not be a good idea. At first, like I said, some of them were not mean. They were just, why is a girl on the team? Is it like obstructing your masculinity? Like, I don't know, but they're all really nice to me. They would have my back in literally any situation, and I appreciate them all so much. I've kicked an extra point, and it was the first time in Cypress Bay history that a girl has kicked an extra point in the Cypress City high school game. And like, even though it's just an extra point, it's still like just a start of such a big journey.
In the 1940s, a radio broadcast detailing the invasion and destruction of New Jersey caused a nationwide panic, as police stations were flooded with anxious callers asking questions about the event and wondering, could this be the end of humanity? But what listeners overlooked about the broadcast was its brief reminder during the program's intermission that this was simply a retelling of Orson Welles' novel, War of the Worlds. This was the first piece of media that would fall into a genre known as analog horror. This genre focuses on telling a story through the means of old communications technology and is often, if not always, in the second-person perspective. With its retro style, media that falls into this genre often follows a theme of otherworldliness, with stories of supernatural creatures taking a hold of society and using humanity's main sources of communication against us. The genre has garnered much popularity on the internet, with YouTube channels such as Local 58, Gemini Home Entertainment, or the Mandela Catalog conveying their narratives in their own style, whether it's through fictional news broadcasts or commercials. But there's one thing they all have in common, and that is their eerily cryptic and disturbing visuals, which has influenced the creation of communities on the internet dedicated to decoding and solving the secrets within these videos. So why is this genre gaining so much attention? Well, maybe it's because of how immersive it is, with viewers being able to experience the story as main character rather than a spectator. Or maybe it's how interactive it can be, with channels such as Local 58 encouraging viewers to visit websites, call phone numbers, or even look at source code. And while some of these stories may never get their tight-knit endings, one thing is for certain. This genre of horror is here to stay. I'm Samantha Perez, CB TV.
After years of anticipation over Cypress Bay's new lightning bolt-shaped building, the wait is finally over.
Here's Issa with coverage of the grand opening.
Ever since it was announced almost 4 years ago, this building has been on the mind of everyone here at Cypress Bay High.
Well, the building is beautiful. It's quite a lovely building. It was a long time coming. Those of us that were planning meetings early on have been waiting for this for a long time.
But once the crowd dies down and the fanfare is over, what do the people really think of the campus's newest addition?
You know, this building gives the students of this school the opportunity to be in a facility and not be in portables. And so you're in an actual permanent facility. And because it's so cutting edge, again, it's just preparing you for things that you don't even know that are coming your way just yet. And to learn in that type of environment and to be able to collaborate with one another, which we know these are the skills that are necessary, it's just nothing short of amazing.
On top of its shockingly modern looks, many believe that this new building has a bright future.
I think this building symbolizes the future for the school. How many buildings are shaped like your mascot? How many buildings have floor-to-ceiling windows, state-of-the-art technology, and just the fact, I've said this before, that it is in the middle of campus. It just signifies to me the future and where we're going.
Though this building still needs some getting used to, it will eventually feel like an integral part of our electric campus. I'm Isabella Chiappini, CB-TV.
You're never gonna believe this. My best friend's sister's ex-boyfriend's cousin's mom's boss's nephew just turned 7.
Taking a walk around Markham Park, you wouldn't expect your steps to gather this kind of crowd. And as you prepare to go off to the races, you'll notice dogs, vans, and people of all ages walking alongside you.
I did walk today. I walked with my 3 girls, my husband. It felt great to get out. It was early, it was nice weather, and it was fun. It was a little hard, but it was still fun.
Even though many would lament the idea of waking up early on a Saturday morning just to jog, these people are glad to be able to cherish the moments with their family. That's why today's event is all to be cheered and clapped for. Here, you can find most everyone running together and hugging their loved ones. It's sad to say that tomorrow, that simple privilege may not be guaranteed. Even now, they're lucky that someone made a wish.
When he was 2, he was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. Then we were in the hospital for 6 months. He got 4 rounds of chemo. He lost all his hair, his eyelashes, his eyebrows. For a second there, we didn't think he was gonna make it, but he pulled through, and now he's a striving little boy. It was a hard journey, but it was a journey that we had to go through, unfortunately, and it made him who he is today.
I don't know these people, I don't know the other kids, but I can relate in the sense that I know what it's like to be a parent of a sick kid. And then again, if I ever have to be in a situation, I can remember there's stuff like this that reminds me I'm not alone. She was really, really sad. She was feeling like she was the only kid in the world who ever got sick, and the doctors came in and realized she was kind of sad. One day, she started thinking about a little bit more than just being sick.
With wheels coated in gold, the walkers and volunteers are all looking towards tomorrow. And even if the chances of it arriving aren't promised, we can be glad that the wish was made. Reporting for Student Television Network, Kimberly Blanc.
Well, that's all for this special episode of Aftershock.
If you want to watch previous episodes, check out our YouTube at Cypress Bay CBTV and follow all of our social medias. I'm Alex Lyons.
And I'm Nicole Borman. Thanks for watching.